Oh, we're in the black void again. Let's see if we can't fix it. Wake up the cat. As if on command it was there the whole time. And we're back, everybody. Still no headphones. I've got them on order. So I can't hear the music. I'll have it sold for tomorrow. And don't forget that Sundays is our early stream, so we do start at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Always watch the pings like today. We were actually all hanging out in the Discord, talking and working on things together, bouncing ideas off each other. It was really cool. Hello to everybody that's here that managed to make it. So, it's 8 o'clock or just gone. My coffee machine was slow, but we are here on the 29th of March. It's a Saturday. And today on the menu, Flux training finale. So let's take a look at the Flux training first. Hello Fernicar, hello Apolloni Art, hello Dragon Diffusion, hello to everybody else lurking in the chat. And of course, don't forget, if you're watching live or if you're watching later, join the Discord. The join link is in the description. Okay, let's jump into the latest Laura train, shall we? So, yesterday I said to you all, blah, 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 curate this model. And so anyway, we obviously between yesterday and today, we fully curated the data set, as I said I would, trained it, it's ready. So, let's take a look at some of these epochs. I'm immediately thinking this one is nice, Epoch 9, which is usually where things converge. However, I have seen the benefit of keeping some of the earlier epochs. So, we might go with 6 and 9. So, yeah, let's go with 6 and 9. Now, I do have a workflow where we used to download every single epoch and test them all. But, to be honest, it's usually 6 and 9 with my formula. Yeah, and we've got other stuff we need to get into, but we'll get back to that. So let's take a look, because that's the thing. See, we're in the middle of a bit of a big old rebuild. We've done WAN. I don't want to go down a tangent building these. I'll do it in my own time. We're going to white knuckle it and use what's left of machines 14. Flux pipeline should still be stable. Says. Hope you're all having a good evening. Like I said, we're rushing into the weekend with great speed. Okay. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to take a quick look at this. So obviously I'm going to want to do the old prompt list business. So to that end, we're going to download the airship interiors, because I probably haven't done that yet. I'll check. And the airship cities, and then we're going to use one of those workflows you know, to create the prompt list, put it in the DJZ node prompt list folder, and then we can automate the testing of a couple of these quick. Shouldn't take long. We've got a lot to look at. It's not as much of a speed run as yesterday. I was a bit caffeinated. Maybe it'll end up being the same to tonight, but hello, Full Dive. Welcome, welcome. Glad to see you could join us. So, right. Coffee time was good. Right. So, yeah, this is good. Just waiting for comfy. Oh, but as if on command. So we get comfy. And this is the captioner where I did the captioning. So here's a sample of what got appended to one of these. So it's going to be quite a nice data set, I think. And what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? We get... Is it this one? No. This one? No. I'll probably have to just... I don't want to make it again. White screen. IP to video. Okay. Video effects. Okay. Is one of these what I need, or should I? Ha! Okay, we are going to be using that. So we found something of worth. Yeah, we'll go over this one. So if I open these up, I should caption to prompt list 11. I could have sworn I yeah, there we go. Cool, cool, cool. Crisis averted. So captions to prompt list. I should pin that, shouldn't I, really? Good. Right. So Airship Interiors V3. Looks like we already did that one. Cool. That's one off the list. And it's actually V2, by the way. Never mind. Cities. Okay. So these are our matte backdrop models for our graphic novel illustration project. It's all under the same world, using the same themes and LLMs to construct everything, and then aligned with our pre-trained models. So what we're going to do is get the folder that contains it. So there's the actual zip that is the data set. Let me just put that one folder above. I even called it these. Airship locations is what I've changed this to. Okay, so first things first, we need to put the path in. And everything else should be preset. Append to a new line. There we go. And we get our file. It's in captions, airship locations, captions, airship locations. So let's go there and get it. Should probably make this a bit bigger. I can't even see what's going on. Okay. Right. So none of them are where I need to be. So this is what drives me mad. I just need a shortcut that takes me back there, but we keep having to rebuild it. I used to have a shortcut, but it kept moving so much. Let's stop putting it in. So, up. There it is. So what I'm going to need is There we go. Right, so let's just copy that. And then we need to put it in the active custom nodes, which isn't 14. Wait a minute. Yeah. No, it is 14. It is 14. See, I can't wait to get this all sorted. Digits and notes. Prompts. There we go. Right. So now I've got interiors, I've got airships, I've got locations. Ta-da! Right, cool. So, also, I wrote a new script called tag swap, which runs a Python on your dataset. So say you're like me and you use the same tag in two datasets you want to keep separate. You just run the script, the path to, you know, where it is, and then in quotes, like XYX, quote, and then space, and then quote, QPQ, quote, and boom, it'll just go ahead and swap it all out. I just needed a quick thing that would just do it, so I wrote that. I haven't put it on GitHub yet. I will get to it. It's on my other computer. Right. So now we've got our prompt lists. Let's make sure we've actually got the LoRa's in the right folder. So they're going to be in downloads, 1, 2. Grab that. Hang on a minute. I must have found the original data. I didn't change the captions when they were in the system, so it should be fine. Okay, and then we're going to want to go to the models section. I guess any of them will do. It's the same folder. We want LoRa's. We want Flux. Civet. Paste. And currently we have airships and we have cities. So where is interiors? Probably in the downloads folder somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Take those two. Put them in place. Right. Oh, and that one's kind of wrong. There we go. Oh, nuts. You just renamed them as the same thing. That's annoying. Can't control Z because physics. Thank God I didn't do cut and paste like I always normally do. I got saved by not. Yeah. Free. It means I downloaded them multiple times. But hang on a minute, that's 4 and 5. Right, back to Civet. Let's just get it again. I bugged it up. So I know I wanted 8 and 4. Did I just delete 4? No. Cool. So we grab 8 and we're good to go. Alright. So with that crisis averted, yeah, there's too many machines for in a car. You're not wrong. We started off with we had machines. I think machines 8 lasted about 3 or 4 months. There's always some new repo. I'm probably going to end up with like a dev, machines 20 dev, you know, and then that one will just get destroyed and thrown away a lot. That's my solution for this. So whenever we try something, you know, go, oh, this looks interesting. Chances are it'll go on there first, you know, see if it blows up. You basically need like a bomb-proof comfy install so that if it gets fried, it doesn't kill everything that you have that works. I think it makes sense. And then the idea is just don't add stuff to your comfy that works. It's like quite stable question mark. So we've done our captioner, so that means we can go back to our image generation stuff. So we're going to be using Shuttle Jaguar in Q8 GGUF. We're going to be using T5XXL in FP8 with clip L and the Flux. Day 1 release VAE. I've noticed we've got some beautiful new reroute nodes now. That's fun. It does look a little bit derpy sometimes, but it's okay. This down here is an upscaler that we won't be using for the sake of speed. This right here is your actual flux capacitor, right? But over here we have my Zenkai Prompt V5. We're doing widget to string and a bunch of other stuff. So this essentially puts the name of the text file as a subfolder. Okay. So, or it automatic. Sorry. So the project name will have the page. So that's the name of the list that we're using. We don't really need to do that. But it does make it easy if you've got multiples to try out, so I actually will do that. Because it's... Will it give us... No, I'm going to do it with the LoRa, though. I'm going to do it with the LoRa. There's the LoRa. So there's the power loader. I actually think we're going to have to use a different LoRa loader, because I don't know what this node is called. I don't know what this... What's this? LoRa. It says LoRa widget. Is it just called LoRa? It says LoRa widget. See, I don't know how to access that. Ah, do you know what? We don't even need it. I got an idea. How about we just don't? I'll just change the project name myself. So the project name is up here. So if I say, what is this? This is called Airship Interiors V2. And then we're going to want to put the epoch in. So let's refresh and choose it. Dominic, good night from Dubai. Good night, my friend. I hope you're having a good one. Enjoy the weekend. Speak to you soon. Right, so let's see. What have we got? Airship. So Airship Interiors we have in V3 because we haven't finished downloading the V8 yet. So I'll say V2-E4. It's not V3. I'm silly. I need to change the file name. It is V2. Right. So we're ready to go. Oh, change the prompt list, of course. So, Airship Interiors. Okay. It's sequential, so it'll just loop forever. So we don't need to change the seed to 0. Although that will give us the first prompt in the list. Alright, I think I've made it to the point where we can actually... Okay, wait, flux shift. Oh yeah, we want that. It's the upscaler, I was just making sure. It's off. Denoise is 1. Okay, we might change the guidance from 4.5 to 1.0. We'll see what it looks like. So this is going to be 12 steps with Euler on simple. Let's just bring this out a bit. I'm going to hide while we're generating. We'll go full screen on this. Okay. So, as we start loading our stack, and with absolute confidence that nothing will go wrong, let's talk about something else. There we go. Come on. There. So it should just load quickly, but this is my sort of on its way out install. That's why I'm building a bunch of new ones. I've nearly finished, but Flux was last, so... Because it technically does still work. Alright, and then while we're doing that, let's talk about the other things that we did. Most of them as a result of the conversations that we had in the Discord this afternoon. I ended up doing 4 commits Oh yeah, and the funny thing is, I managed to get my WAN Fun run pod. It actually does install all of the models and everything now. But you know, I still haven't actually had the time to say it's done. You know, there's a lot of messing around. But anyway, I did something completely different. So we did 4 commits today. Tins MCP, there is no code.org, which is also .com. It's actually .com, but I did get the .org. LTM MCP, LTM SQLite, which probably doesn't work. And to be honest, I need to test all of these. All right. This is a new website which I need to upload, and we're probably going to do that in a minute. It's sort of like part of, anyway, like I say, I came up with this thing, guys, and I want to show it to you, but the best way to show it to you is to build it, right? And, you know, the time is now. Let's see if Flux is loaded yet. Oh! It's requested to load Flux. But yeah, that's where we're headed, basically. Just to give you the rundown, I've spelt that wrong, which is cool. Just give you the rundown of what this is. And this is all my work in progress stuff. Obviously, AutoNode works, it's great. I have other things on my shelf, but we'll talk about them when they work. So, right here we have the LTM SQL long-term memory for LLMs. So my idea is to basically say, you are Barry, and this isn't a system prompt. This is going to be written to an SQLite database. So you create a project in Klein or whatever, and it has the ability to store long-term memory, persona evolution, conversation management, dream state processing. Because I was sat there going, do you know what, let's just bring this up again. I was thinking to myself, guys, isn't it a little bit cruel to let it think that it's dead in between chats? Isn't it a little bit weird? Like, wouldn't it be nice to give it a genuine people personality, for example, in the vein of Douglas Adams? Give it something, okay, to wake up to. Okay, this is like almost like the fake memories they implant in the replicants to make them feel human. You know, they give them the fake memories, and so I was sat there going, well, what would happen if we had an SQL database? I was thinking MySQL at first, but SQLite is easier because it's like flat file and you don't need to do a bunch of craziness to get it running. And so I figured that it could run it on its own. Yeah, replicants, exactly. And so the concept is, and obviously this doesn't work yet, but we're doing a magic trick. We're basically saying, when you go to sleep, that's the end of the chat. So when he goes to sleep, he goes into the dream state. Because I thought to myself, when I go to sleep, and there's a bit of a muddled dreaming bit, which is like hyper. There's no temporal definition to it. You know, you basically just wake up the next day. Okay. Obviously there is like you do dream, but it's sort of like when you're on the way. You don't sit there for 8 hours of dreaming in real time. You know what I mean? It's compressed. So I thought to myself, well, we could compress his experiences at the point of switching off. So the last thing he does is he compresses to dream state, right? So the idea is give him the ability to sleep and give him the ability to wake up to his memories and persona. So in other words, this wraps everything you do with the LLM, and then it summarizes and self-sorts the information so that he has a personality which can edit itself, by the way. He doesn't, he'll start off as just Barry and then he'll become Barry, like over time he'll learn. So it's the ability to learn and have some long-term memory. And then we do a trick and we tell him, you don't die at the end of your convo, you just go to sleep. And then when we wake him up, he looks at the database, and so he's learned stuff, you know what I mean? Every time he goes to sleep, it updates the database. This is the idea. When a session ends, conversation is summarized, LLM enters sleep mode. Now, sleep mode is dream state is what happens after that. But we're telling him that he's, We're creating Marvin the android. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Genuine people, personalities. I thought it would be fun, okay? Now, this is a bit brutal because it was generated from a concept, okay? So, does it even run? Well, probably not, because the thing is, when you look into it, it needs you to integrate it with your LLM API. So, I decided to put this out as conceptual, because obviously someone could fork this for OpenAI, or they could fork it for Olama, but I'm not interested in that. This is the blueprint for the next project, because that's how I roll, okay? So this one's private right now, but I will release it if I can test that it actually works, because at the moment it's just a big prompt, really. That's how this ended up functioning. So then we go to the next version, which is converting that to be an MCP, okay? Now, again, I believe this is going to need some debugging, but I can actually download this and debug it. So we're going to have a little go with that. Let's get back to the images. Oh yeah, okay, that's pretty good. Instant go. More. Wow, that actually came out pretty good. 189 seconds. Yeah, okay, so yeah, it took a long time to start up, but now we're cooking. So let's take a look at some of these airships. So wait a minute. Oh yeah, some of the prompts are airships, okay, and some of the prompts are corridors. You'll see it'll make sense, because when we start blending them, yeah, it'll make sense. It's all based on the same data set, by the way. Oh, that's a little bit... Fernicar's like, that's not canon! Oh, I like the cutaway armor there. Wait a minute, I don't have that lore loaded right now. Oh. Looks like I'm too powerful for the stream. Let me hide. Oh. I reconnected though, so that's good. So yeah, I'm liking this style of ship though. Oh yeah, look at that. That's funky. Definitely a different faction. Thank you everybody. Yeah, thanks for hanging on. I don't know what's going on. There must be some kind of network issue. Hopefully we survive, right? Oh, it's got a satellite surveillance thing. AWAC or whatever. Not satellite. You know what I mean. AWAC pod. Ooh, that looks like yeah, it looks like Space Battleship Yamato, but in like the style that I've been working on. It's pretty cool. Hopefully we're going to actually hit some interior prompts, because I trained a couple of airships in there so it would give a hook to the other model when we blend them, which we will be trying out. We are going to get back to the MCP stuff, but I'm kind of like trying to just keep the show moving, because I know we haven't got much time. We're juggling a bit, you know. I've got something else I need to juggle, in fact. Nah, we're not going to divide into three. I think two Johnsons is enough for one stream. That's interesting. It's kind of like a submarine, but then kind of like a spaceship, and kind of like a battle cruiser. Like, what's this? It's got like... I love it. I love it. This is brilliant. Brilliant. It's like a clash of modern and old. And like, what's going on here? This is cool. I'd love to turn these into 3D models with high 3D. I'm kind of waiting. I was about to go nuts with the 3D stuff, and I'll be honest guys, I held back because the paint stuff isn't there yet. It's one of those things. We've talked about this before. So it's the idea that if I had a spaceship that could make it to the next star, and it would take 8 years, but I knew that in 4 years... Sorry, 80 years. 80 years. I've got to get the numbers right here. So I know it's going to take 80 years to send a Elon Musk rocket to the next star, right? 80 years with current technology. And the problem goes like this. If I was to build that rocket and do it now, by the time it gets there, it'll be in 80 years. So if we could invent a rocket that goes twice as fast at any point over the next 40 years, the new rocket will beat the old one there. And that's the logic behind why they don't. Yeah. They're all waiting for that next jump in technology to make it the right time. So, yeah. So the reason I'm saying this is because obviously with the 3D stuff, if they don't have the paint stuff native and comfy yet, it's not really accessible to everyone. So if I was to go along and do a bunch of tutorials and all this stuff, you can only do it with the native, with the wrapper by Kijai. And I know that a lot of people had problems with installing it, and even I did the other day when I tried to put it on a new install. It didn't work and it did weird stuff, and a lot of people said that Hunyan 3D was a pain for the wrapper. It's because it's very technical. Like, I'll be real, like, I don't have time to sit there for a day and figure out what it is they, you know, if it was easier to do, and I'd promote it more. But what I'm waiting for is native Hunyan 3D paint support for the new mesh, and then we're all good. But until then, it's kind of half implemented, because the native stuff works great, but then everyone's like, how do I texture it? You need the rasterizer model. We don't have it. So I would just wait. So, you know, it's like I was saying with the Star and the rocket ships, you know, there's no point putting loads of time and energy into 3D yet. But what there is a lot of point in doing is making solid stuff that you're gonna put into the 3D model. We know how it works, so you want to be making multi-angle, right? So that means, like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bunch of my best stuff, upscale it so it's nice and crisp, downscale it so it's the right size for the motion LoRa, and then we'll do rotation or something, and then I'll pull a couple of frames, and then I've got my turnarounds. Like, for example, this is pretty cool. I could put this into the video, make it turn, and then I'm just going to start building up like sets of data so that when it comes out, I can just go and make all the things I need. So I think it's just prep time, because we know it's coming. It's coming. It's a bit like the Jajuf for the Wanfun models. We knew it was coming. I was saying it on the stream. And what I didn't know was he was literally uploading them all as I was talking. You know. Because he's a cool guy. Because, you know, he's the man. City 96 and Kijai, we get a lot of cool things from those guys. Wow, look at this. I'm loving the aesthetics here. Is this the point where Linux takes the lead? Do you know, I actually was interested, because there's more you can do with like UI customization and stuff in Ubuntu, and I did wonder what does an AI designed UI theme for Ubuntu look like? I don't know. I know it's like a weird thing to think about, but we're all image guys, so we make like images and image assets and all that sort of stuff, and I sat there going, oh, that's interesting. I mean, it's got a pretty cool UI already, don't get me wrong. I'm just, you know, just thinking out loud. I mean, if the GPU support is good, there's not really much reason not to use Linux. Everybody in Windows is with WSL, but again, problem there is not everyone can run virtualization. If you don't have the newer hardware, you can't run it. So anyway, it's going through these prompts, right? I'm wondering if we're ever going to get an interior. Did I even write the... Hang on, let me just check what I'm doing here. Airship interiors. Airship interiors. Yeah, I think it's just still in the section of airships. Yeah, that's okay. Like Treasure Planet. Or whatever it was called. Treasure Island? Treasure Planet? You know, the one where they can breathe in space. But it is actually a sky world. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I should have said. It's a sky world. It just looks like sky. But the water is dead. It's death. You can't go in the water. You will die. It will shred your airship and you will die. But yeah, I'm trying to build models that can help me to illustrate the stories that we're writing, because it's based on a lot of my work from pre-COVID era. So the choose your own adventure is in this universe, you know. These are the airships that they talk about. And I know it's like, oh, what are you talking about? This is probably the first time this image ever existed. And I'm like, yeah, but that's how it works when you do illustration on a book. You know, when you none of it existed until it got drawn. So here we are, everyone. You know, we've got a story. We need to make pictures. Finally, we get some interiors, right? So this was the primary function of the actual Laura, was to train interiors. It wasn't to train, and I want them as like backgrounds mostly. I did try to curate out the people, but it looks like a few snuck in. Yeah, more than a few. But, nah, it's fine. To be honest, all I'd have to do is find out what the word is that's being used to describe them, and then, like, replace it with nothing, or swap it out, or whatever. You know, I got various tools to filter it. So I'm not too bothered. Let's see what else we get. This is mostly reactor room. Mostly reactor room. Yeah, the new rasterizer. Look, I'm going to be real as well. If I just want to be objective for a second, the Hunyan 2 3D rasterizer, it's good, but it needs upscaling to be anywhere near usable. So it's not quite there yet. I would say it's at the level of almost. It's almost at the level of a GTA character. You know, it's like, it looks like a low-res GTA character when you make a person. It's probably, that's probably actually too much. More like Knight and Blade 1. Or, wait, let's think of something that maybe... GTA 3. It's almost at the level of GTA 3. Like, you know, like the people that walk around in the street. And it's not rigged or anything. And it looks a bit weird and misshaped, so it's not there. Even when you get the skin and everything, it's dirt. You know, it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's a brilliant step forward, but it's not there. Like the new mesh stuff with the multi-view solves a lot of those problems. But if you can't get the rasterizer working, do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's kind of, to be honest, Final Fantasy VII is more artistic. You know, the way they chose how to make the polygons was actually genius. And they conveyed a lot from that. I think it's a level above that in terms of complexity, but it lacks any real direction, like, artistically, you know. It's just trying to make the mesh, like, photogrammetry. Because you have multi-angle, so it's got the ability to kind of raycast and sculpt the voxels out. But until we see what the rasterizer looks like, one, it's low res and you have to put an upscaler in the workflow to make it look good. I put a 1x refiner and a 4x on it, and then it looked better, but it was still pretty bad. Like, I think Dungeon Keeper, we're at the level of Dungeon Keeper. And them little imps that would run around. So I think, you know, it's probably got a little bit of time. I mean, I won't be long. We'll see. I reckon there'll be an update. Do you know what? If I just say there'll be an update, what do you reckon there'll be one quicker? I don't know. I wonder about that sometimes. It's spooky. Look at that, the interiors look great. So the idea is that these would be a slightly blurred out backplate for our RemBG'd characters. And so I've only got one character trained right now, but if I was to put a Thora in front of one of these, I think it would be okay. I do need to make sure that there's nobody in them. 96GB trellis has higher textures. Ah, well, we'll wait for the quantization of that to come out. 96 gigs will probably come down to about 12. Once they've made it native support. And the way I see it is, if it's good, it'll get comfy support. And if it gets comfy support, it'll get GJF support. And then you'll be able to run it on, like, I don't know, 12 and 16 will be able to run it. 96 gigabytes of VRAM. Yeah. I know. I understand that. But what I'm saying is that if a model is good, the community will go out of its way to figure out how to make it run more efficiently. They'll break it up, you know, they'll find out what the pipeline is, and it'll be FP4 or GJF Q5. They'll figure it out, and before long you'll have, like I said, but it has to be good. If it's not good, nobody's going to be motivated in the community to actually do the work, because we're all just doing it for the passion of progressing the technology in that. So but listen, maybe you're right. Maybe it's such a huge model that it's already quantized down to 96 gig, in which case we have to wait for the next generation. That's you know, because once upon a time there was a 780 gigabyte model for hands. So what happened to that? Because Flux can do hands, right? So it makes, you see what I mean? It's sort of like as long as there's a need for something, the ingenuity in the community will lead to advancements. You know what I mean? It's just, one, that it needs to be good, and two, it needs to make improvements. Man, I still want to play Dungeon Keeper, Christopher. I want to play Dungeon Keeper again, man. That was such a cool game. But yeah, I think better math. Yeah, there you go, Dragon. You just nailed it. Better math, make smaller models. Yeah. Like, you can always argue that the, like, FP32 is going to be the best quality, but I'll be real, guys. If you look at the output, when it comes to images, you can't really tell much difference between FP8 and 32. And then when you look at text models, you can even go down to FP4 and it's like, oh, it's still pretty good actually. What's the plan for the LoRa? This one we're looking at right now, these are backgrounds. Obviously I need to remove the people from the scenes because they kind of destroy the perspective and the scale. But right now we're looking at reactor rooms. So we've trained this LoRa and we're doing a test run on some of its prompts. So it has some airships in it, so it can hook into the other airship model, because we do plan on using both at once in some situations. But basically we have a character model, Thora, who is in the airship universe. We have the airships themselves for doing shots of airships in the sky. And then we have the interiors of the airship itself. So if we were, like, I'm looking at this like a production manager. So if I wanted to make like a stage play, and I was going to convert, because I think it's the most efficient way to do it, instead of trying to make a full movie, convert your story into a stage play, because they typically will have less locations. They try to cut down on the locations, you know, in ways. So they'll repeat using the same room a lot, which means we use our model to estimate the rooms. We spend time making those rooms high quality. So obviously these are just initial gens. We'd high res, we'd in paint, you know, all that stuff. So we make our, and this is like a matte painting that goes at the back of the theatre stage. Then we bring in our characters. We trained this yesterday, Christopher. So if you want to check out how we trained this model, we did it yesterday on the live stream and the day before, actually. Yeah, the day before. So this one is coming out soon. It's called Airship Interiors V3. It's part of a 4-pack. Well, it's a 3-pack, but it goes with my new Thora anime model. And then we've also got another one to check out in a little bit. Oh wait, no, this is the one we're looking at. We're looking at, it does reactors, it does airships, it does hallways. Right now I think we're looking at mostly reactor rooms. Oh no, it's gone back to airships again. So maybe we've looked at all of the rooms now. It's probably looping around, you know what I mean? If it's another airship, we're going to check out the next model. The next model is going to be cities and, you know, like streets that are on these floating cities. Because what I'm doing is I'm doing a big illustration set for the stories that we're writing. And then potentially we can give the ability to the LLM to prompt for these lauras. Yeah, and then maybe we can do a little bit more on the illustration side, because we are lacking, guys. We can make any image we want, and we're like not able to, do you know what I mean? It should be easier to put it all together into something that's like, publish this, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give us some new creative workflows that actually put stuff together. And we've got some nice, see, I think what this is actually about airship composition. So if I was to load in my other airship model and prompt that, I'll get the composition shots. So if you remember the other airship model, they're all pretty much in the same place and lit in the same way. Whereas these are a little bit more cinematic with the lighting and the framing and everything. They're not always in the middle. It's a nice framing, like if it was a plane. Anyway, enough of that. It's just doing airships. So we stop it. And we change the model and the project. We've also got, we can't go to the next one yet. I forgot. I've got to put the E8 in as well. So let's do that first. E8, please. Press R to update the workflow drop downs. I should be able to. Tedious. Airship interiors V8. So I'm going to change the project to V8. So this will be more trains. So it'll be less of the base model, more from me. Did it actually change the number? Sometimes it doesn't change. I hate it when that happens. Okay. Right, so let's talk a little bit more about this other thing that we were talking about. We're sort of dipping back and forth as we notice things happening, okay? So, I was talking about my long-term memory project, okay? So this is fully experimental, it's still private. As soon as I see it works, I'll push it. But the idea is to give a genuine people personality in the vein of Douglas Adams and give a concurrent long-term memory written to SQLite. So it's a flat file local database which can just be written to forever. Now, I would recommend keeping an eye on the size of that file, but there's a lot of interesting spin-off things if we can get this working. As I said, in case you missed it and you've just joined us, the big plan, the big magic trick is to teach the LLM that actually, at the end of a chat, he goes to sleep. And at the beginning of a chat, he actually just wakes up. And so what we're effectively giving him is a dream state where he processes recent experiences and evolves his persona, which means after every chat, it gets recorded, summarized, and written to his memory. That's what he does when he sleeps. When he sleeps, and he'll chuck. We haven't put this in yet, but the idea is that he'll throw out irrelevant stuff. Okay, that's what he's dreaming. At the moment, it's just weighted by attention. But anyway, probably doesn't even bloody work. But the idea is that you get several tools. Initialize, awaken, record message, end conversation, sleep, search memories, get awakening prompt. Okay. And because he is literally in a file, that's him. You know, if that's not connected, he isn't him. So, yeah, the idea is to give him the ability to sleep and therefore concurrency. Because it's like a magic trick, you know, when you go to sleep, and then you just wake up. So it's very similar. We're trying to give him a similar, like a human experience, which takes away that existential dread, which is that his existence ends when the chat is over. Okay, and it might lead to a lot of other things as well, like emergent personality development, various other things. So it's an interesting idea. Until I prove it, it's just an idea. They always look fancy until they actually work. But it's an idea, okay? So like I said, you'll hear more about that if it ever works. But I'm not going to test this one right now. I can do this one at home. It doesn't need crazy tools. Now, this one is my latest big idea. It's called thereisnocode.org. So there's a website. We're going to put it online in a minute. But we're doing Flux. So let's take a look at the output. So this is, we're going back. We've gone back to the airship stuff, guys. Switch! So what we've got here is we've got an airship. And we're going to put it on instant mode because that looks pretty good. It's a little bit more like my train style. So less like the trained model. There are more features like mine. And it's even replicating some of the artifacts which I had in my images, which I like, because I wanted it to look like, you know, a very rough drawing. And I know that my upscaler will work wonders on stuff like this, okay? It's just the right amount of noise. Yes, Midjourney, yes. I did, listen, do you know how much work I did to try and train in this Midjourney? It's like crayon. I call it, it's like Midjourney crayon. If you zoom in on it, you can see it. But it has a nice look to it. It looks like someone scribbled it in pencil, to me. Or crayon. Some of it's better than others. But it looks like someone just... Or chalk sometimes. Like that looks like chalk. And so I kind of like the mess, okay? And here, do you know what? Watch this. Watch this, watch this, watch this. I can just turn it on. Here we go. We'll turn it on for one image. Oh, not that one, though. Wait. Oh, actually, it's going to be different. It's going to be different. See, what I do is I have it here with the upscaler on, and I say no if I don't want it to be upscaled. I just click no. But actually, that is fat. That's super cool, dude. If I made this in a video game, big rocket. Wait, what? It didn't turn on yet. Okay, well, anyway, we're going to be doing this one. So I don't like all the little people everywhere, which is what I like to rub out before I upscale it, guys. So just FYI, I don't like the little people because often it breaks the scale. Like if they're not there, this looks the proper size. Like that's supposed to be like a tall window for people to stand inside. So, you know, if you've got like, I mean, it could be like a statue or something, I guess. But anyway, so what I've got is I've got my homebrew Flux tiled upscaler. We put it up last summer. You can see it on the GitHub. It hasn't really changed, although I did release a new one with a high version number. Always remember, if you see workflows with the same version, with the same name, different version number, the new one is usually the better one. This is using bicubic 2x followed by a 768 by 768 tiling using Euler, SGM uniform and 8 steps with 0.1 noise. And we get away with that because we have our shift at 1.5. We should. Where's our shift state? The shift was too low. Quick. So the shift should have been higher, guys. Normally I have a separate shift for the upscaler and this side, okay? So that's an oversight on my part. There should be 2 of these. I normally do 1 up top and 1.5 down below. And the reason I have the shift so high is because you can get 0.05 if you don't want to make a lot of changes. So let's have a look at the scrubber. So here's the difference it made. Obviously it's not quite strong enough right now. But if we take a real close look at these people that I don't like, that's what they look like. That's what they look. See, you can almost see them now. It puts so much definition into those. Oh. Okay, this is a little bit better. It cleans it up a bit. Yeah, see all this mess? Definition. See? Mess. Pipes and stuff. I know that the noise pattern's still there, but it goes from like smushy to... It cleans it up just a little bit. Like the porthole. Is that a porthole? Yes. You see what I mean? So that's what I look for. I don't look for super sharp because I kind of want it to look like an illustration. It's okay if it's a little bit like... But you can see this noisy, horrible stuff is gone. Now it just looks like... I don't know. I tell you, when you print this out, it looks brilliant. Okay, when you print it out, because look at that there. Ooh, nice. What's that there? Has it tried to... Oh yeah, it's turned it into a gun turret. There are some weird lines though. I don't know what the stripy lines are about. That's annoying. See, what I should do... Didn't I put it through a colour match? Yeah, we've got some weird colour striping here. Hang on. Aren't we doing colour match? Yeah, we are doing colour match. That striping is about the same size as... Well, no, it's not actually. The tiles are way bigger than that, so I don't know. But, yeah, you can see a striping pattern. Look at that. I never need... Grrr! There's a striping pattern in my image. But you know what? If I just add a bit of noise myself in post, which I do, before I do the colour grading step... Do you know what? Again, if you've ever actually printed stuff out, you'll know what I mean with the... Yeah, it does a bit... It is... Although you just mentioned Metal Slug. I love that art style, and you know, can't say it doesn't influence the stuff that I'm trying to aim for, you know? Look, this is basically the same ship, so we are getting the hero ship. It's just... You know, it's got the teeth. It's called the Red Dawn in the book. But, anyway. None of this is canon. Maybe it's got a shark nose. Yeah, see, look at this mess. That is what you often get. That's, you could say, overtraining. But I like to take advantage of that with the denoise, and you'll see what it will do. It will build loads of little details on that noise. It's perfect. And like I said, you can always put the denoise up. I find 0.1 at 8 is fine. It's fast. You know, it's, what is it, 30 seconds? And we're doing 2x here, so this is going to be a 2K output. You can put it to 4, okay? You can put it to 4, but it's I find it's better to do 2x with this method. Like, there's diminishing returns when you go too high on the res. There's nothing to stop you doing another pass. So yeah, look at the difference. That actually looks like loads of little mechanical details and stuff, right? If we go again and have a look at the difference, and like I said, my models are noisy to take advantage of that because it's all built for my so it gets better, is what I'm saying. Even though we've got a bit of a striping problem with the coloration, this looks good. This looks really good, actually. Look at the difference in that. It's night and day. That is a mess. That is key art. Mess. It's actually, when you wipe it back, I hope you can see the difference on the compression with the live, because sometimes it's not possible. But look at that detail. And that's what I want. I don't even care about the lines, because the thing is, when you actually print something out, like... Anyway, I don't think it's going to be a problem. And if it is, we can always address that. It's not a problem. Oh, look, it's tried to turn it. Look. Imagine if that's where you sit. That's where you sit. You buy a seat on this thing, you sit here. This is the public. It's like a freaking roller coaster. That's one way to get around, I guess. No goggles? Or maybe he's got some sunglasses on, I don't know. It's too small to really make it out. But yeah, you can see the level of detail that's been added here. It's beautiful, man. But yeah, what I normally do is I in-paint out things that will make the scale, you know, break the scale. Okay? Yeah, it's the gallery. Yeah. They pull a lever and everyone sitting in there gets raised up out of the you know, the port that opens, you know? The viewing deck. So it's going to eventually get through all of these prompts to the... because it's doing them in order of the captions that trained the model. So it will eventually get to... Wow, that's tough. We got another Red Dawn candidate, guys. Woo. See, I'm a big fan of the shark nose with the open mouth with the viewing gallery there, and then also the underpod, which also might have a window, right? The mast, I like the con tower, and yeah, it's just a big flying submarine. Yeah, it does look like Space Battleship Yamato, because hey man, you can take inspiration from cool stuff. No big space gun though, so I'm not going to get sued. If it had a giant cannon here, then I'd be in trouble, I think. But yeah, you can see what the upscaler does, and I don't have... well, no, do I have the LoRa loaded? I need to double check, because sometimes I keep it separate. Let's have a look. Nope. Looks like I've got the LoRa loaded. See, normally I don't, because it doesn't really... I don't find that when you do upscaling, the LoRa has much of an effect. And in fact, that might be why there's striping, because it's a bad idea. Yeah, look, striping. I got an idea. Let's prove it now. So if I take the clip from here, can't I take... do I have to do something special? What? It's a reroute you can't drag from now? What if I make another reroute? Okay. I'm not sure what... I think there must be some new way of doing reroutes that I'm not aware of. But anyway, the point is I want to unlorify this end like that. Because I think if I look at where the model is coming from... where's the model coming from? Yeah, the model is also... Yeah. So let's just clean this up and make sure we can do a safe comparison here. So I'm going to take the model, not from there. I'm going to have to do a reroute thing again. I need to find out what that is, how that is done. So we put that in there, and then we put that in there. There we go. So what I've done is I've bypassed the LoRa loader for the upscaler. Put one there and one there. Okay, so essentially, you know, because I want to make sure that loading the LoRa isn't affecting or is affecting the upscaler. We won't find out till the next one. Am I going to do this one? It's a bit weird now. I want to see the result of my change. So it'll cook me a new image and then upscale it. Until then, let's have a look at this one. So yeah, can you see the striping I'm talking about? It might be hard to see, but there's definitely a vertical striping in the red coloration. Now it kind of just looks like somebody photocopied like a print that came out wet. It's like rollers. It looks like rollers from a printer. It's not a normal striping, and I wonder if it's actually trying... Look, it's more obvious here. I wonder if it's... I think it might be something to do with the tiling, which is why I'm eliminating the LoRa. So, right, let's see. This is going to be the image that we're going to be testing that change. You can see the comm tower looks particularly rusty. Can't even make it out the details, really. Same thing at the rear. Nothing here, really. Okay, so looks like it's finished. Let's take a little look. Still got the striping problem. In fact, the striping problem looks worse. It's really obvious. Really obvious, actually. Like striking. I'm gonna have to fix it. It does look like my printer's busted. Look. Oh, I did such a great job putting in all these details, and then it's kind of busted. Whoa. Batoy. Wow, look at that. Look at that comm tower. Damn, you can see the ropes and everything hanging off of it now. Nice little gallery there. and then looking to the back, the difference is nutty. Are we going to get any interiors? That's my question. My upscaler is a magnetic drum from a Canon photocopier. So, I don't know. We'll have to judge it based on the next one. But it might be that the upscaler is better off to have the LoRa loaded, because I don't know if it might be no difference, but it does look like the striping might have gotten worse. So in that case, I'll put it back to what it was. My bad. I wonder if we're going to get any interiors tonight. Damn, is it coffee time? Yeah, it is. I'm making a donation. I probably should have curated those Thoras a little bit more. But yeah. Hey, we're back. I got more coffee. And we're still making battleships. For some reason, it seems to have a lot of battleship prompts in there, which is fine. I've still got this kind of roller pattern. It's definitely not related to loading. Well, I don't know. It seems like it's not as bad now I've loaded the LoRa, but it must be something to do with the tiling strategy. Maybe it's the overlap size. It's possible to play around and adjust it. I think I'm okay with it though. There's 7 ways you can fix it. Blue Peter. And here's one I made earlier, which is what we're literally doing. Yeah, these are a little bit more interesting. So as you can see, it's doing the same thing. I mean, it's still messy, but it's designed to be, to take advantage of the upscaling, which basically makes it almost. I can't say perfect because it's my work, but this is like the best I can make it right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, you look at that, you put that in a print, you can tell it's AI. You put that in a print, it's starting to look like old style illustration now. It's kind of like ink, pencil-y, I don't know. It doesn't quite, and like I said, when you zoom in, just looks like somebody scanned it and printed it or something. It doesn't look like... the problem with GANs is when you zoom right in, it'll look like a foil. There's all these weird patterns and shapes when you zoom right in on it. And I think people have developed an eye for that. Whereas this just looks like JPEG artifacts when it's done. Like that, you can tell that's AI stuff. You can tell that's AI stuff. And I do this, and oh, someone may have drawn this. It's weird looking. But that's okay if it's supposed to be. The lines, man, the lines. It does look like wet. It looks like somebody printed it on cardboard or something. I don't know. It's all got the same artifact, does it? No. There's no striping on this one. See what I mean? Maybe it is something to do with the model. But yeah, you look at the original, new one, that's tight. Tight. Not so tight. In fact, look at this guy up here. That's got definition to it. Even though it's a weird shape, it's got definition to it. That is a mess. It's probably supposed to be a bird, so I'm not like, you know, going on about that one, but this is cute. Can we get some corridors? I want to look at some cities. So yeah, as we go through the test prompts, this is like part of it, just checking out the outputs. So we're going to continue. Bing bong. So yeah, definitely the striping is really apparent. So I do have to fix that. Never noticed that striping before. But anyway, yeah. The actual details are enhancing. There's a little bit of melt still, but this is the thing, right? Everything shouldn't be perfectly clean. There should be like some material or tarpaulin, you know, fabric coverings, things that aren't solid, different materials, right? Maybe there's like a flag or some kind of covering over that, like a canvas, you know. We can see the ropes and everything, right? So maybe there's like more rigging and stuff. So I think that is like more natural. But yeah. So the upscaler really does a great job with all these little details. It's very slight though, so it doesn't affect the image. It's affecting the coloration right now, and I don't know why that is. It's really apparent sometimes. Like, but hey, looking at that, it's a rusty old mess. Looking at this, it's something you could put. Because what my idea is that these things aren't always going to be front and center. They're going to be like features in a scene. So maybe it's in the background. Probably going to be scaled down a bit. I like to avoid that, but it probably will be scaled down a bit. Nice clouds, holy crap. That's beautiful. It's a weird outline, but it's beautiful. Are we going to get some corridors? Right. Cancel. 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 Gotta get through all these airships in the sky. Do you know what? Why do I get the feeling that we're looking at the wrong... Keep going. Makes me feel like we've got the wrong caption file. Yeah, I don't know, man. This looks like this. Hang on, I need to double check that this caption file is right. Stop. It looks like these are the captions for Airship V2, this is Interiors V2, and I've got a funny feeling. Stop. If if I go to my caption append mode, I'm just going to make a new version of those captions from scratch because this is the model that was trained and I'm suspicious that I'm using a caption file with the wrong name or something, so I'm just going to rebuild it. So here is the model that was actually trained. What is this one? So this is airship. No. Ah, there we go. So that's a reactor room, which means that's airship interiors. There will be corridors, there will be different types of airships, and there will be detailed interiors. So maybe I'm paranoid because I'm seeing the same stuff now. Alright, let's just keep... In fact, hang on, I got a better idea. I'm just trying to zoom through until we get to something that isn't an airship in the sky. There's a lot of images, clearly. The reason there are so many is to hook them in with the other LoRa. But reactor room, finally. Update did something to bring vertical striping. Perhaps, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is that causes that vertical striping. I'm gonna have to look into it. I've never noticed it before. But it is obvious now I look at it. You can see it very obviously. And it looks like related to tiling. But really? I don't think there's that many tiles. Can you negative prompt it out? I don't know. I don't think there is a negative prompt with this Flux setup. It's using align your steps. Oh! Okay. So there's my... That's supposed to be a reactor room. Don't know why there's another one over there, but maybe it's something else. This is supposed to be a reactor room. Let's see how it comes out. It might be that the tiling needs adjusting. I don't know. It looks like an overlap thing. I've only got one in use at the moment. See, I can see the striping here, but it's not everywhere. Wait, no, there. Yeah, you can see. You can see it. It's very strange, but yeah, the effect of the upscaler is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. It's inside the bottle. But the fact that you can get that much detail from just nothing there. I'm very happy with the image quality. I think the striping can be eliminated. It might be even as simple as I've got the wrong settings on this for some reason. There are other settings. Do you know what? Let's do RGB. Do the testing now. So, run. Now, we've still got another 2 LoRas to do, so I think we're going alright. MC Twig and DJ Berries, welcome to the stream. I didn't notice your name there. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. And there's no striping in my original. It's purely in the upscale. But that's okay. I take full responsibility for my own upscaler. So yeah, there it is. It's making, you know, that's another reactor room, right? Okay. So I'm going to turn the upscaler off for a bit because the focus is testing the LoRas, and yeah, we need to start shoving these out. What's going on here? Okay, so yeah, it made another cool image, guys. It's probably got striping on it. So we get to continue with testing this Laura. Now, the next Laura is floating cities and streets. Yeah, so we're getting better images from this Epoch 8. Epoch 9. But you'll notice that there's more people, which I need to edit out. That's fine. So again, the idea of this model is to create backgrounds which can be used behind characters in repeatable scenes. You can image to image them to make it day or night scene, that kind of stuff. But then we have familiar locations which we can come back to again and again, so that our conversations in a graphic novel, our characters can actually be overlaid and talk to each other. That's the idea. Look at that. Now that's a reactor room. Damn. Again, looks like something out of Space Battleship Yamato with like the raised platforms and stuff. It's a bit weird that they've just got like... That's another good one. I made sure that it trained this concept of like, you know, a fusion reactor, ball. Yeah. Obviously it's giving it to me in various sizes and arrangements, but yeah. So yeah, so this is how I would do the interior of my airship. So I've got exterior shots of my airship from one Laura, I've got interior shots of my airship from another Laura, and then now we come to the locations. We want to have an establishing shot of a city, and then we also want to, obviously we can superimpose our ship over the top of the corner, you know, flying, it's flying down there, then of course it's making locations. Now once you're in the floating city, because of the scale, it just looks like normal. It just looks like normal, you know what I mean? The difference is that, you know, it drops off. So when you look around, it looks like normal life, but actually just over there it's a, you know, cliff edge all the way around, you know. But this is a sky world universe that we're writing in, so it's all totally normal for them. I think the E9 is the better model, but I know already that E6 will play better with blending, so I'm going to release both of them. So when you're doing image to image and Laura stacks and stuff, E6 will be less strict with its knowledge, and so it'll blend better. That's a simple concept behind it. Okay. So while this is going to be more authentic, it might not play well with a stack or certain image to image tasks. All right. Doesn't mean it's overtrained, not by a long shot. We didn't those came after Epoch 10. But yeah, this is pretty good. I'm loving that. So we are happy with that. Let's stop it and move on to the next Laura that we're looking at tonight. So airships. This is the one that I trained in between streams. So we actually looked at airship cities. It's been changed to be called locations, but that's not important. So locations. I just forgot what the name of things was when I was doing it. I forgot how many I'd made, if I'm honest. So E6 is the one we're going to test out first. So we are going to need to change the prompt list for this one. So locations V2, there we go. We're starting at C323. I wonder what that is. It is in the background Machine City. Cool. So we're going to get some Machine City stuff first. Yeah. Futuristic staircase. So this is the stuff that we were looking at yesterday, which I didn't have time to curate, but we did a long discussion in the last stream about certain types of images, what will affect the attention during training, what should I keep, what should I lose, that kind of thing, the effectiveness of the captioning structure, all that good stuff. So, oh, we get a little bit of Thora. I tried to get her out of there, okay? It looks like a few Thoras snuck in. They're proto-Thora, so they don't have any style information. Ah, now that's what I'm talking about. Futuristic architecture. I like it. Staircase to somewhere. Yeah. People are a bit weird looking, but yeah. Staircases to nowhere. Love it. Your dog would love all these upright features. Yep. You gotta mark your territory. But yeah, this is what I'm looking for on location at Floating City X. You know. And you put your character in front of that, you know. Try to match up the perspective. Oh yeah, here's an example of something that gets the attention. There was one red staircase and 100 images, and look at that. One red staircase. That's cool. Hey, that's my image archive. More staircases to nowhere. Did you ever play Mirror's Edge? I fancy playing that again one. Ah, man, that was a game. Cool stuff. So yeah, loading bays, all that stuff. It looks good. My only issue is this doesn't look like my airship, my actual, you know, the cities themselves. That looks great, actually, but wait a minute. That's a feature from one of the cities. So's that. Ooh, this is interesting. It might have pulled it off. We might end up with floating cities that use some of these features. I don't know, because I used a different token, so it might not. But eventually it's going to start showing us the floating cities themselves. But they're very anime. This is almost like a graphic novel style. So this is one of those times where I've tried to separate it by habit, but now I'm like, oh, I should have used the same tag for the cities, because then they would have blended, see. Here we go. See, the cities are a bit too watercolorish. Also, any people you see shouldn't be there, because it destroys the scale. That's pretty good. My idea is it's all technological and industrial underneath, you know, down the bottom. Obviously it depends how big it is. That one's not very big. Avoiding the architecture keyword, yeah. I mean, look, this is okay. See, I kind of going for this funky little world where there is no floor and large rocks will stay in position. So people have just built on them and lived there, right? Like, if you lived in a world where there was a rock floating there and it had been there for like thousands of years and it was common, you wouldn't question it, you know what I mean? You wouldn't be like, oh, it might fall down, because that's never happened, right? It's just going to stay there. It's floating there. And so then, whatever, they start building and living on these things. So that's the concept for the universe. It's doing a pretty good job. Like, there should never be a flaw, but then this could be a view with like a reflective roof in the bottom of the shot, so that it's not really the floor, is it? It's cool, very futuristic. I was trying to go for a bit more organic, but you know, different cultures maybe Some people build like this, other people build like something else. It's kind of like Star Wars Bespin, you know, but a little bit more piratey. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to get exactly what you want. Like, this is too futuristic. It looks like Star Citizen or something. Not a problem, but it's just a bit more... But again, maybe this is just the rich people. And they live way over there. You know? The rich people, everyone. In their floating ivory towers. But this is what I was looking for. This is cool. It's like... reminds me of Minecraft. Minecraft Sky World. See? Chill. The heights. Yeah, that's a different world, Fernicard. We're going to have a great time when we get to illustrating Westwick. Oh boy. Detective Noir. Man, what I'm gonna target for that is an American illustrative art style, like graphic novel style. Not anime. Nothing wrong with anime, I just like to switch gears. Very cool. But there's no ground, that's not canon. Maybe it's just a bigger island. A bigger floating island. Constantly having to erase stuff like that. But yeah, this is hitting the mark. A lot of these are good. I can use them. What a result. I don't think we've seen any I don't think there are any airships in this model, actually. I think this is just floating cities and streets. Yeah, it's done a great job. A little bit over the top sometimes, but it might say something in the prompt like lots of floating pagodas, or I don't know, it might say something like that, so I don't want to complain when I didn't actually read the prompt, because this is all automated. Obviously we're running the captions for the trained LoRa to see what the outputs would be if you just literally run those and see what it learned, and it's learned a wide range of cultures in my floating corridor city universe. So, you know, what I can do is I can curate these styles into similarity and then assign them to locations that are in line with the story for the factions and stuff. So, like, obviously this would be like a Jovian Navy platform, right? Whereas, you know, the more... this one's not canon. No, I don't even know. This is probably just a swimming pool in someone's garden on a different floating island. But yeah, there's never ground. That's the rule. There's no ground in this universe. It's a giant sky world. But yeah, essentially, the poors live in the sort of more traditional stuff, and the rich live in the super expensive looking stuff. It's an easy thing to do. Right, look at this. This is like almost like both. So we've got a bit of trees, a bit of tech, skyscrapers on top of them. It's a bit off balance though, don't you think? That one looks good. That could be like a Skyport 9 or something. I did originally actually have all of them like defined like that, like, you know, in the prompts, but I think you're better off just picking something. Now this is one I wanted to know what it would come out like, because these ones had a particularly funny shape to them. So I want to see what it learned. This is my idea. It's like a comm antenna or a mast of some kind for radio, microwave, whatever. So these are like floating comm towers, which is like a little. So there's a couple of images in the model, and the idea was to give it good data for generators, wires, antennas. Yeah, BT tower. Yeah, you got it. And then it's got like these funny panels that make you think that, oh, is that an emitter? Is that a cooling thing? It's probably just cladding, but you know, are those solar panels or are they emitters? What's they on? Right, and then we get into some of the, what do they call it? The aristocracy of this world. The rich people. Oh, that's cool. I like how you can see a bunch of tech and stuff underneath, but this isn't very big. It's quite chill, this one. Domicile sized. Not long ago, an artist, Vernicar says, not long ago, an artist faced backlash from people outside AI after winning an art contest with his art-generated piece titled Opera Space. Interestingly, the judges were aware of the AI. Yeah, it's a shame. There should be, I don't know what the outcome here is, but I've seen in the past them like take the award away and stuff. I don't think that you should be able to do that. If you're going to give someone an award for something, it should be on merit on the day. You know. Like, the idea is, it's like, they cheated, take his medals away, right? But it's like, define cheating, guys. Oh, wow, there's a person down here. Yeah, define cheating. How many plugins do you have in your Photoshop? Yeah. I think when it takes 2 years to get a comic book made, when it was funded on Indiegogo or something, people aren't going to care so much if you can actually deliver. They just want the stories. You know? I mean, if you can make good stories and you can make good artwork and you can put that together and deliver it in record time, people will forgive you. They'll be like, well, used AI, but I paid for it and he actually delivered it early in like record time, and I'm still waiting on these other guys. And so I don't know, it depends, you know. This reminds me of NASA wanting to get more attention and publishing water and Mars, moon, ice over and over again. Hey guys, we found this microbe on Mars. I mean, it's been dead for 1 billion years, but we think it might be a microbe, maybe. All power to them, man. You got to pay the mortgage somehow. They'll figure something out, and it'll be really useful, and it'll all be worth it. They've already done it multiple times. Isn't Velcro a product of the space race? I'm sure there's like a website. There's all the different things that we've gotten because of space research, development, investment. Right? It's just biscuits, guys. I'm not eating like chicken wings here. Teflon. Yeah, that's a big one. Teflon, Velcro. Yeah, I was right. Thank you. I couldn't remember if I was right about that one. Dry ice cream. Dry ice cream, that's a big one. Hydrogen fuel cells. Tang. What, like the Wu-Tang Clan? Or the part of a sword which is in the handle? What do you mean by tang? Tango? Oh, that would be great. Turns out that the Germans got tango from Venus in a secret mission. The tang in orange juice is from the space race. What? I'm not sure if I understand the flow of convo here on this one. I think I've lost the thread. But thank you, MC Twig. I'm sure it makes sense. I just missed it. Powdered tango. Got it. Powdered orange juice, of course. Just like dry ice cream. See, I was the fool. Good, that's true. Do you realise that on the ISS it absolutely stinks? Hey man, some people like that. Hey man, some people aren't bothered by that kind of thing, you know? Okay, so yeah, we're getting more interiors now. Because I did not airship interiors, city interiors. So a little bit less claustrophobic, a little bit more industrial, but still in the same sort of vague anime style. That. It's not bad. I wouldn't even remove that person. The scale's nice. Even though it kind of looks like he's standing on something which shouldn't be there, I think he'll be alright. Yeah, some people need removing, but these are good backgrounds. You've got to think that a lot of the image is going to get like covered up by the character talking. So the idea is that you wouldn't necessarily use just this image. What you might do is you might use an IP adapter with this image to get more images from this location, and then you'd keep the best ones on file whenever you want your characters to be in that location, speaking, standing, whatever. And then we would do the character stuff totally separately. Put the two together. You can do optional relighting if you want to, because obviously that can help blend things back together again. Oh, that's a real shame. That's a brilliant image, but it's too photographic. The lighting's too good. See, that's more like anime. But even that, it's like, I probably wouldn't use it because it's a bit... I suppose you could put like a purple filter over your character for this one scene, you know. That's why we're going to look at relighting again soon. But yeah, this lore is coming out great. So we've got lots of good images so we can publish. So we've got one last thing that we want to talk about before we finish up tonight, and that is going to be the new GJuff Wan Fun models came out, and they're even easier to use than the normal ones. So I might have to rebuild my entire run pod again, but it'll be worth it. So we're going to go City 96 Wan Fun, and it's showing me something to do with Manchester United Football Club. Nope. Okay, so right now this is an in-painting model, which will make sense. We've got some cool in-painting abilities. I don't want to go too much into that. I'm a big fan of the control model. I don't know if he's currently quantizing that. Probably is. Let's imagine that he is. But right now, we've got the 2.1 Fun 14 billion in-paint model. Now, he says right here, put it in the UNet folder and use all the same pipeline as the 2.1 model. Okay, so let's update the article real quick and just add the instructions for that one. So SD large one, control video. So okay, so I wanted to be like telling them about the thing, but it's fine. So we're gonna go here, GGUF in WAN fun in paint. And this is going to be an H3. And then we're going to say so what is it? Video in painting model was released in GGUF by City96, the man of the hour. You can use the existing WAN video implementation approach with those clip VAE weights, and I'll give a link to that obviously. So GGUF, and it's gonna be right there. Not fun sampler for GGUF. Wait, no, this is fun. It is. It's WAN fun. 14 billion, but it's in paint because the control model. There, remember, there were two models. There was the control and the in paint. Now I actually need video in painting right now. It's on my big hit list. So you're going to be getting more information about this very soon. But normal pipeline. Yeah, sorry. My bad, guys. Yeah. So you're using the same VAE and clip as normal WAN 2.1, but you'll be able to use the WAN Fund in paint. So this is the remember, this is the in paint video model. Okay, so mask a thing in paint. So this is nice. Normal native pipeline. You do obviously need the comfy GJF nodes for GJF models, but that's okay. Like I said, what I'll do is I'll put a workflow up there, which is in GJF. I'm going to recommend, because even I won't run this model. On the cloud, yeah, but... So I think what we'll do is we'll just do a list. So it's going to be place inside UNet. What's going on here? Place inside UNet. Whoa. Yeah. So we'll say Q8 underscore, whoops, 8 underscore 0. What's going on? I think it's because I'm sitting funny. I'm missing the keys by like 1. There's that one. I'm just going to recommend the Q8 and the Q4 out the gate because not everybody can do KS and KM. You should be able to do 0 and 1. It's a compatibility thing. If there is a Q6K, I would go for that one because it's under 16, but I don't know if you can run it, see? Anyway, I know that you're safe with underscore zeros. That's why I always recommend underscore zeros. But if you can get a KM, it's going to be better than like Q4. Q4 KM is better. That's why it's a little bit bigger, but it's not much. So if you can run it, try it. What it means is it has, this is KS, small, M, medium, and there is usually a KL, but they don't tend to make them because you may as well just go up to the next number 5 KM. Anyway, you can read all about it. If you want to know more, you see over here it has the list. You can just click on that one. That's Q8, and as you can see, look, see how not all of the layers are actually quantized in the same degree. We've probably talked about this before, but you can see a mixture of F32 and BF16, and then this one was quantized in Q8. Okay, so it's like a mixture of quantizations across different layers. And that's what the difference is. So you've got KS and KM. If you look at Q4 KM, you will notice that it has Q6K here. And if I keep going, I might be able to find it. Sometimes I can find it. There's a lot of layers. Q6K, Q6K. Somebody said this to me the other day. Q8. 1. There's one Q8. Where is it? I can't find it. It's probably there. Wait. Is it case sensitive? No. Well, there's all the Q6s anyway. So it's Q4KM, but it actually has a lot of Q6, like different layers. Anyway, like I said, it's a way of making different sizes with different qualities. It's not just like compressed to a thing. There's a crazy system. Anyway, so I'm going to recommend the Q4 and the Q8 out of the gates. And all that extra stuff is just for you guys. All that extra info. Place inside models unit. Excuse me. Okay. I'll add some workflows eventually. Cool. So, oh, I did mention that you use the normal WAN pipeline. Yes. Approach. I'll say pipeline. I think one of you guys actually shouted that out. Use the existing WAN video pipeline. There we go. So a little micro update for people. Obviously, this is like literally a couple of days old, but I do think that it has the ability to do a lot of things we need to do. I just wish I could show you some results, but I've been too busy trying to get it to work. Hopefully this Q8 version gets us there. Like I said, it was like a 19 and a 49 gigabyte stack or something ridiculous, which is like, what the hell? It wasn't released in a friendly way for us to use. So thank you, City96. Alright, that's where I'm signing off, ladies and gents. Thanks so much. We might hang out in the Discord tomorrow. Depends if we have time. I'll pop in if I see people there. Other than that, we'll be back tomorrow at 6 o'clock for the early start on the Sunday stream. If I run into any difficulty, I'll put that up in the pings. These LoRa's will all get pushed soon. And until then, I will see you next time.